When many of the elder gods were corrupted and became what we would call demons, the god Atum, born from Gaia herself, was set upon our world to slay these monsters. In that sense, the two of you have had a shared purpose. Fight well, Hunter, and he may just honor you with his blessing.
I'm impressed. They cannot possibly match your strength. You were too weak for this fight. Now that was something.
Atum was unleashed and made quick work of the demons, but in the process, he became something of a monster himself. He even became known as the Demogorg, the God Eater.
If this is a cautionary tale, your timing could use some work. Some for the rest of us. I had hoped for a challenge. Your mother abandons you. Will heal you. This shall be of great help.
Just imagine how much more difficult this would be if Charlie wasn't there to join you. I think you owe her a treat after this.
Feel my call. You had your chance to escape. Once again, Lilith's servants fall.
I think Blade is honestly jealous that you're getting this extra training in. And with live fires, too.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. Return to your mother. As a child, I feared the servants of Lilith. Now I teach them to fear me.
If that doesn't make an impression on Autumn, I don't know what will. Good work, Hunter.
This looks like a...
With Atum's help, you shouldn't have any trouble uncovering the more elusive elements hidden throughout the grounds. Why don't you try out his blessing on that stone over there?
Autumn be praised. She does not see. Autumn, show me the way. The son of Gaia approves. Something terrible happened here. This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia with the Abbey to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the moon seals to the Knights of Wondercore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the moon seal?
After the trials, the moon seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Was this always here? I may have forgotten a few things, but I feel as if I would remember a decrepit church on the grounds.
You may not remember the structure, but maybe you've heard of the man responsible for it? Hiram Shaw? This was his house of worship, and like a great many things on the grounds, Sarah preferred to keep it in a sort of mystic quarantine. Even I haven't been inside.
Is that all she did while I slept? Seal things off for our protection?
She can be overzealous at times, but in this case, she was right to be wary.
So, what dark secret does this place hold?
When Hiram Shaw first came to Salem, he was little more than a charlatan posing as a preacher. He managed to convince a few desperate souls to join his congregation, and with their help, he broke ground on this church. Whether it was coincidence or fate, in digging beneath the church, Shaw found something that would change the course of all of our lives. A long-forgotten page of the Darkhold.
Do you think Shaw was meant to find that page?
He may not have been the chosen one per se, but I'm sure this place radiated with enough dark energy to reach out to anyone listening.
And Shaw was just corrupt enough to hear its call.
Yes, Shaw was an eager study, consumed almost immediately by the whisperings of Chthon and the Darkhold's power. Nearly overnight, the people of Salem, old and new, were at his threshold, waiting for the word. Something on your mind?
Tell me about Hiram Shaw.
By all accounts, Hiram Shaw was a desperate man. Desperate for power, wealth, influence, the usual desires that cloud men's minds. As I understand it, he was a largely unsuccessful minister before his arrival at Salem, traveling from place to place, swindling whatever followers he managed to gain before being run out of town. To think that a simple man like Shaw finding a piece of the Darkhold was enough to set all of this in motion, it puts things in perspective.
What do you know about my father?
That's not an easy question, dear. What would you like to know? Was he a good man? Yes, I think he was. Your mother loved him dearly, and he doted over her. I think for a time she forgot who she was, where she came from. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. She and Sarah both deserve to find something more than just another fight with Chthon. Lilith did. Sarah didn't. At least, not for a while longer still. I honestly think that's the only thing she ever had against him, blood or not.
Is that meant to be an offering bowl on the altar?
Another artifact Wanda was toying with but could never make work. I'm curious. Next time you find yourself there, place something in the bowl and speak an Elder God's name. Perhaps it will work for you now that you have their blessing. Feeling until we speak again. Goodbye, for now.
This must be Shaw's study. Oster smiles upon me. The goddess must be busy. Not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool.
The gods are fickle.
Never a dull moment.
Did Wanda ever make it to this
I
place?
suspect she did. But if she discovered something, she didn't tell me. You know where to find me, Hunter.
Autumn reveals all. That is something. Interesting. He sees our path. The goddess disagrees. Autumn reveals all. Agatha, what is this?
The corrupted influence of the elder god Chthon. But we won't be able to heal the Abbey grounds until we've recovered the Moon Seal, stolen by Hiram Shaw.
Remind me about the seal?
I think you've gotten ahead of yourself, dear. You'll need to find the Moon Seal first. A trial awaits you.
Autumn be praised. The goddess of order approves. I need to find the next moon seal. If I remember correctly, this is the grave of Will Walker, a notoriously vicious but effective vampire hunter. Blade would have liked him. She believes in our purpose. Agatha's house. Fascinating. son of Gaia approves. Was accepted. A perfect fit. Maybe I should come back later. Autumn, show me the way. There must not be anything here. Autumn does not answer. He sees our path.
Hulk and I have tangled before, but it was nothing like that. Hulk fights dirty and mean and brutal.
If anyone wanted to know what an absolute catastrophe looks like, it's a demon Hulk.
Hello, Hunter.
Is that meant to be an
Interesting
offering
magic,
bowl on the
isn't it?
altar?
Were you
Yes.
able to make it work?
It responded to my voice.
Try using different combinations of words and offerings. You never know what you might get. It's always good to see you.
I have heard that Wanda's power
The way
comes
I
from
understand
Chthon.
it, within that mountain, the dark god Chthon. Until we speak. Yes,
What can
dear?
you tell me? What do you know about Transia?
Transia is your ancestral homeland, Hunter. The birthplace of Lilith and Caretaker. It has always been a sort of magical junction, drawing in every type of occultist, sorcerer, and even the occasional elder god. The Abbey grounds still behave in much the same way, even after all this time.
And Wundagore?
Wundagore Mountain has always played a prominent role in whatever scheme was underway. Chthon himself is said to have created the Darkhold, deep within the caverns of the mountain.
What was Caretaker like when she was younger?
I'm sure it's difficult to remember now, but Sarah wasn't always the steadfast contrarian. In our younger days, she was much more enthusiastic about dashing off to save the day, not unlike some of our younger allies among the Suns.
That does not sound like the Caretaker we know and love.
Keep in mind, Hunter, Sarah has faced a great deal of loss in her time here. Everyone she ever cared about, in fact. I would say she's earned the right to be disagreeable, at the very least. She is a very strong woman. I'm not sure I would have held up as well given the same circumstances.
Who were the Knights of Wundagore?
Another mysterious group of heroes in a world full of mysterious groups. Of course, I'm no expert on transient history. I do know that the Knights of Wundagore were formed as a response to the growing threat of Chthon's influence near the mountain.
What exactly did they do?
Hydra was hardly the first to dabble in chthonic schemes. Many have tried and failed to awaken the Dark God. Over the centuries, the Knights fought alongside a number of allies who stood against the various crazed worshippers of Chthon.
You were there? At the witch trials?
Not initially, no. If I had been, I like to think I could have stopped them before it was too late. I sensed something was wrong, and when the witches cried out in distress, I came to Salem as quickly as I could.
But Shah had already committed his crimes against them?
Yes. It was a devastating discovery. And for the longest time, I blamed myself.
But you see now it was not your fault.
I've come to understand that we must accept the past and move on. But that doesn't mean I won't always carry that pain with me.
I know that feeling all too well.
I know. And I wish you didn't, dear. I really do.
does not seem right to intrude in their space.
I don't understand. I thought the Avengers were supposed to be like the greatest superhero crew on Earth. I thought they would do better than this.
Guess you overheard our conversation.
Some of it.
Let's face it, this doomsday scenario might be a little too on the gothy supernatural side for the Avengers. So, it's time for them to move over and let the kids take the reins.
The Avengers are clearly out of their depth.
Damn straight. Now it's our turn to screw it up.
You do not sound too confident.
I just don't want to jinx it.
So, do you have a plan?
You mean a plan to stop Chthon from serving us all up in his all-you-can-eat cosmic flesh buffet? We don't have all the deets nailed down as of yet, but we'll work it out. Till then, keep this under wraps until we know what we're doing. I don't want to freak out the Avengers any more than they already are.
Will do.
Cool. Catch up later.
Lilith's tomb won't be that creepy, right? We should bring flashlights.
What you doing, Charlie?
The chatter points to large numbers of soldiers. Need a pick-me-up?
Oh, you are gonna love this. We are finally getting some decent tech down here. So, how's the whole saving the world thing going? Sometimes, I even impress myself. That is a lot of work. This is some of my best work.
Farewell.
Hey, can I ask a favor? Thanks, Hunter. Can't talk right now. Our Hulk problem isn't going away on its... Awesome. Thanks, Hunter.
Lots of talk about Transia.
Is your source Maria Hill, or intercepted comms, or other?
Our time to stop Chthon is running short. At this point, I'm willing to try just about anything. So if you have any bright ideas...
We did our best to stop the prophecy and failed. We know Chthon is coming, and we need to prepare for what happens after that.
You sound like Caretaker.
She knows what she is talking about. So tell me, what do those books tell you about Chthon? What do we need to know?
These books tell me Chthon has been a threat before civilization began, when all that walked the earth were the Elder Gods.
But what else? Surely there is some bit of knowledge we can use. What other things did you learn?
I could keep you up all night blathering on about this, so tell me specifically what you are curious about.
Who were these Elder Gods? Tell me about them.
Siblings brought into existence on this planet by the Demiurge, the source of all life. These beings were named Set, Gaia, Oshtur, and Chthon. They ruled the planet for many millennia, each of them pursuing their own interests, increasingly battling each other for supremacy until finally it became too much. New gods emerged to topple the old gods and remove their influence from our world.
Nothing lasts forever, even for gods. Was Chthon always this monstrous evil from the very beginning?
There was always something wrong with him, but his insatiable pursuit of chaos magic eventually corrupted him in ways he could never reverse. While Chthon's sibling Gaia sought to nurture life on his planet, Chthon sought to absorb it into himself, to remake all life in his own twisted image. It was because of that evil drive that Chthon was banished to another realm.
And there he waits, ready to return when the opportunity presents itself. Like now.
Like now.
If Chthon returns, what exactly will happen to this world?
The world and all life as you know it will cease to exist, but it will not vanish. It will be recast in Chthon's image. We will exist only as extensions of Chthon, and the world will only serve to keep him alive.
What a hellish existence. What about the Darkhold? Could it not provide us with secrets of Chthon?
The Darkhold is dangerous in its own way. With Chthon locked away in another dimension, this is how he has sought to influence events in our world. It is Chthon's own words laid down in print. We cannot trust it as a reliable aid in our battle. It would be like trying to defeat Ultron using his own memoir. Nothing good will come of it.
And the writing is probably awful anyway. The prophecy mentions the sleeping giant awakening. If that is Hulk, how important is he to Chthon's goals?
I'm not sure, other than his presence complicates our ability to stop Hydra and Lilith's efforts.
Something will have to be done about him, or Stark may lose his mind. I do not want to hinder you anymore. Keep reading. Surely there is something we can use.
I hope you're right. And I'll keep digging. One more book. Maybe that will have the answer.
collar of yours does not look good.
I know what it's like to feel guilty about the death of a loved one, too. My Uncle Ben. It's my fault he died.
Did you kill him?
Well, no, but I could have stopped the guy who did. Hey, those are beautiful. What are they, some kind of daisy?
Something as rare as she was.
I'm sure she forgives you.
Thanks, Peter. But I kinda wanna be alone right now.
Yeah, okay, sorry, just trying to help.
I know, but this is not something you can help with.
Maybe someone else.
Do you think what Peter said is true? That Agatha forgives me for what I did?
The only person you need to forgive is yourself.
Forgive myself for murdering someone I loved? How?
By first accepting that it was not your fault.
Of course it was my fault. It's always my fault. If I had learned to control my powers better, she would be here today.
Agatha understood the dangers of taking someone as powerful as you under her wing. She did it anyway, because she had faith in you, and who you are to become.
And look what her faith cost her. An early grave.
Maybe she saw something in you, something that was worth the sacrifice.
That's nice of you to say, but say it to Caretaker. I still haven't been able to look her in the eye since I've been back. She hates me.
You cannot hide from her forever. You need to figure out how to summon the courage to face her, so that both of you can move on.
Yeah, you're right. I owe her that.
You owe it to yourself, and Agatha. Agatha would want the two of you to be reconciled.
I know. I just don't know if I can make that happen.
Try. For Agatha.
Yeah, for Agatha. I, kinda need a few more minutes alone with her. Go on without me.
I will take my leave then.
Thanks, Hunter. I hope that was an accident.
Another day closer to the...
I do not...
I hope